Live golf Saturday morning. That's what we're talking about.
Taylor Gooch from Edmond. Been some golfing talent come from Edmond, Oklahoma over the years.
Next on the tee from Knoxville, Tennessee, Wes Roach.
Cut was 6 under par. Lowest ever in this event by 2 strokes. Of course, it's a new golf course here at TPC Craig Ranch. It was ball in hand, Robert Dameron, on Thursday. The players took full advantage of it.
They did. The scores were absurdly low the first round. A few people had a few struggles yesterday. Sam Burns didn't
Play well, guys.
happen to have any struggles. See how this course is playing right off the bat. That leads at the second turn rarely wins. It's still a sign of great things to come for this fella, Sam Burns. Taylor Gooch, after that drive way left, second shot way right, and hands full to make par.
Good ball striker is Gooch. And Wes Roach, he was playing on the Korn Ferry Tour last week down in Nashville. He spent some time with Brad Rose, his instructor, who's over in Knoxville. Brad drove into Nashville, and they spent a bunch of time working the whole game, really, everything from full swing to short game. And it paid off, made the cut here.
That's good. You never know, especially when you're in tournament mode. Korn Ferry last week, BryonNelson this week. And you get that lesson in between. You don't want to really relearn something. It's just tweak or reassuring that what you're doing, what you're working on, and the direction you're going is still right. It's certainly not time for any kind of crazy overhauls.
He's only played in 7 events this year with the limited status that he has. It's been pretty good, though. He's made 3 cuts. Just hasn't really taken advantage of them. Puerto Rico Open, he did finish 13th, but beyond that, 67th and 34th. Going to be a nice day. Welcome back to TPC Craig Ranch. DJ Trahan.
I don't think he likes it. I don't know what, just my sixth sense told me that wasn't going to be a good shot. I don't know what it was. Certainly wouldn't be his griping and moaning. I still, you've known Scott Stallings a while. I have too. I still don't like. I see him and I go, that's not Scott Stallings. Scott Stallings is kind of a pudgy guy. Not anymore. He turned his whole body and his whole routine. Woke up one morning and just said, that's enough, essentially. And I'm out of shape. Started doing a lot of CrossFit, and he is as fit as anyone on tour. No, don't catch that bowl. Stay. Whew, barely.
It was scared of him.
I know.
Had to stay.
Looks kind of like a pirate with the facial hair. Usually doesn't have the mustache and stubble. I like it.
There's Hideki getting loose. You can see it's cool here in the morning. Everybody has the pullovers on, just trying to stay warm. You know, with Zalatoris and Matsuyama, we've seen both of them now on the practice putting green. It's going to be interesting to watch how they putt today, because both of them have had struggles, especially Hideki over the first 2 days on the greens, and Zalatoris on Thursday, and he missed 3 short ones. In his stroke, got a little jabby.
Well, neither are traditionally great putters. Not known for their putters. You're seeing the kind of the Tiger Woods drill.
The putter that he has on the ground is the one he used yesterday. has a different grip on it. It's not a good thing when you're warming up with 2 putters.
No. No, it's not. I played an event with 2 putters one time on Saturday. I couldn't choose. Went right down to the wire. It was, you know, my tee time was like 5 minutes. I'm still on the putting green. I don't know which one I'm going to use. I took a 4-iron out and put both in. I used 1 long range and 1 short range.
Oh, God.
Needless to say, I wasn't playing that well that tournament. It was like early on Saturday morning.
Your caddy,
Yeah.
I can't believe you were there on Saturday.
Yeah, I know.
Says a lot about how well you
can't
must have been hitting it.
Yeah, weak field.
See if Trahan, that's nice. Just snuggle it up there close.
That's how to do it.
Had a couple of top 25s in his 15 events so far, has Mr. Trahan. They were a while ago, though. Safeway Open, first event of the season. And then the Puerto Rico Open, closed with a 67.
Multiple winner. He went through some real struggles over the last several years.
Yeah.
Showing signs of life.
Check this out. Kids Play Free. This is an initiative that Scott Stallings, along with the Tennessee Golf Foundation, have put together. Select courses throughout the state of Tennessee. Kids play for free. They're going to do over 21,000 free rounds for junior golfers in the state.
That's incredible.
It's incredible. It really is.
Incredible.
It's changing
That's great
lives.
work. Scott's another player, you know, multiple winner that hasn't had his best stuff for some time. He could kill it back before everyone else could kill it too. Long.
Back on the tee, Troy Merritt. Opened with a 68, backed it up with a 70 to
From
make
Sea
the cut.
Island, Georgia, Keith Mitchell.
So, the Sea Island Mafia,
Yeah.
there are at least 7 players that I can think of off the top of my head on tour who live down there, who call Sea Island home. Something in the water.
Some good golf courses up there. Good facilities. Nice temperature. It's beautiful on the water. What's not to like about it?
Snedeker played with Keith in New Orleans, and he said he drove the ball so well. He's been driving the ball beautifully all year.
Did really well last week.
Keith was joking with him, said, it's pretty amazing I still managed to shoot over par from where I drive it. Talent.
It takes a specific talent to pipe it down the middle and still shoot over par.
Well, Scott's always been a world-class ball striker. His putter is fleeting at times. That one gets in, though.
I like his hat. No bull. I need one that says all bull.
You find out about these red shafts?
Now, you thought it might be a hybrid shaft, actual graphite and then steel. I think it's an actual wrap, like just a color that they put on there. The reasoning.
As a fan base for Matsuyama to slip into the green jacket. This is not exactly the recommended landing area on the first.
Did a little pruning of that tree. Stop, and it will not stop.
When you just make the cut on the number, you know you don't have your best stuff, and then this is how you open the third round.
Yeah.
Back to the first, Luke Donald.
Luke birdied the last hole to make the cut.
He almost did what Sergio did. He opened with a 65, as did Sergio, and then shot 73. For Sergio, though, it wasn't that fortunate.
From Sea Island, Georgia, welcome, Harris English.
Another one of your Sea Island, Georgia fellas. It wasn't that long ago that Luke Donald led both money lists, the European and the PGA Tour.
Mm-hmm. Number 1 in the world.
Number 1 in the world, and rightfully so.
Maybe I got to think about this before I say it.
No, I agree with you.
Maybe the best bunker player of this generation?
Oh, I'd say no doubt. I'd say maybe of all time. I mean, Gary Player, of course, but you look at his statistics over the years, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous how good he is. And it's, some people, it's not just like he's got some special technique or he works harder. Some people just have knacks. Some people are born with talents that other people don't have, and it's about playing to your strengths and away from your weaknesses.
Fourth shot from Mitchell. Not the start he was envisioning, I think, when he put his head on his pillow last night.
No. He had a good week last week. Obviously playing pretty well. Didn't get much done on the first 2 rounds, making the cut on the number, and that's going to be a putt for bogey.
And as Luke Donald makes his way up this first hole, we'll see if we can't find his sand save percentage from the years that he was #1. The year that he specifically, when he won both money titles here on the PGA Tour and overseas on the European Tour. That would be an interesting thing to know. We'll get back to you on that. For now, though, Troy Merritt, he's got to figure out a way to get this down. Streaky player is Merritt. A lot of it depends on where his mindset is. He's talked about it, and it feels like when he's playing well, he can beat anybody, but when he's not, he just feels so far from the game. Which is understandable. I mean, if you're just a little bit off out here, you're getting steamrolled on the PGA Tour.
Especially when you don't play the power game that the others do. Troy doesn't have that power off the tee. So it is harder to compete when you don't have, you know, your full flight going. You don't have everything working just right. And you're way, way back hitting 4 and 5 irons when they're hitting 7 and 8 irons.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that. We were looking at those stats from Bryson. Again, his approach game really hasn't changed statistically speaking, but his short game has gotten better. And you were saying his short game has just gotten better. It has nothing to do with driving the ball farther. But in theory, and feel free to disagree, I'm probably going to have a better short game if my average approach shot is, say, a 9-iron versus a 6-iron. Just because the misses are bigger. So wouldn't that mean that the up and downs will be more difficult?
In theory, sure. But he's pretty good with a 6-iron too. You know, he was a very straight hitter before. But, oh boy, 1/2 a rotation short. But having, you know, been on the ground, watched with my own eyes, his short game's impressive. You know, when your short game's not good, in a weird way, that's the easy chips that you mess up often, the ones that you feel like I'm supposed to hit this one right, but I don't feel good over it. On the chipping green, I would get this up and down 99 out of 100.
Back to the first hole here at TPC Craig Ranch, McKinney, Texas. Beautiful morning to be out playing some golf.
Go hard. Go hard.
Already a couple of Sea Islanders have teed off here. Keith Mitchell just made a double, and now Harris English trying to do one, at least 2 better, maybe just 1 better. It's going to be a tough up and down. Luke Donald. We were talking about his bunker prowess and how good he was, especially back when he was #1 in the world, kind of that 06 to 2012 era. And incredibly, our graphics department has already come up with that information. I told you we would get it. It was early on a Saturday. They were excited to have to dig back in, I'm sure, to the record books. But there's a nice one. Not have to worry about the sand now. Luke Donald, 06, 09, 2010 was first sand saves, and then 2011, the year that he won both. I'm sure you
I
have.
don't need to do it today.
It's free right now on Twitter.
I can do it twice then. Oh, I'm 99% sure that ticked the top of the flagstick. Didn't really help it at all. I've seen those sometimes you hit way too hard and it actually hits in the flag itself, wraps up and drops about a half a foot from the hole. Not often, but a couple times.
Cameron Champ was with us in our featured groups, and it was a terrific fight for the young man yesterday afternoon. At one point, Robert, he was 1 over on the tournament, and we were saying the cut's going to be 6.
From Japan,
No chance.
Satoshi Kadaira.
But to Champ's credit, he fought it off, and he's here for the weekend.
Yes, he did. He played awesome golf. Showed a lot of heart and a little emotion. He was grinding. You know, it wasn't. Frankly, he was pretty flat out there for the first almost 27 holes, attitude-wise. Maybe a little less because he buried, I think, the last 4 in his first 9 yesterday, but started showing some fire in those last 10, 11 holes.
Kadaira has been playing some seriously good golf all over the world. He's played 18 events on the PGA Tour, made 8 cuts. Of course, now a winner on the PGA Tour.
Ahead.
And he's coming off a 11th place finish last week in Charlotte. So, you know, big ballpark there, similar distance to what we're seeing here.
There you go. Unconventional par. I was so impressed with Harris because he lost his card. Well, he's such a good player, and he lost his card. He had been struggling, and he was not comfortable not being a PGA Tour full member, and he just started playing lights out after that, and getting in on exemptions and getting in on limited status. But every time he did, he was top 5, top 10. Finally got a win at Tournament Champions. Something that maybe never happened before and maybe never happen again. You win the Tournament Champions without a win.
Yes.
Yeah, that's one of those asterisks in the history books.
Very Luke Donald Open. Back out to the live action. Champ. A $180 basically.
Got lucky to stay out of the trees. We've seen a few left though. There you go. We'll get a look at that kind of newly vamped putting stroke that really worked well. Outside of struggling and finishing strong, the bright spot was, well, 2 bright spots. Strong finish, but that 10 feet and in looked really good.
Tough stretch for Kadaira, where he missed 4 cuts in a row, starting at the Honda. Check that, the Corrales Punta Cana, but then broke out nicely with that T11th last week in Charlotte. He's a smooth operator.
Task, but kept his nose down and kept fighting.
He doesn't show a lot of emotion. So yesterday, a couple of times he got angry and slammed is too strong of a word, but hit the ground with his club. It was good to see in a way. I don't want to encourage anger by any stretch of the imagination, but it just lets you know he cared.
Anger is, if you look at Tiger Woods' career, he got angry as anyone, but he used it to his advantage, and he never let it get so bad where he was mad when he was standing over the next shot and he got distracted. It was almost a means of refocusing, and he never got down on himself. He never called himself an idiot. He just, you know, hey, it almost got mad, but used it as a way to tighten his focus.
Interesting grip here as he slides his hand down in the traditional setting.
Sometimes you start off, I do this a little myself, you start off with a different grip to level your shoulders out or get your eye line set and then kind of slide back to the traditional grip.
I mean, it's not really a mullet that he's rocking.
It's a mini Pat Perez. It's like a Pat Perez starter kit.
He's a cool dude. I told the story yesterday, but it's just interesting, and for those who weren't with us, I'll tell it again. I had the chance to cover Cameron during the United States versus Great Britain and Ireland Walker Cup match in Los Angeles several years ago, and Cameron was part of that team, which, by the way, was absolutely loaded. Scotty Scheffler, Will Zalatoris, just to name a few, Colin Morikawa. They won handily. But in the celebration afterwards, I had a chance to sit down and just kind of relax with Cameron's dad, Jeff. Get in there, ball. It does. Nice opening birdie. And Jeff laid out the entire plan for Cameron, all the way from he's going to turn pro, he's going to leave A&M early. First tournament back since the Masters. We check in with the Slovakian
transplant,
Rory Sabatini. But Matsuyama tee to green didn't really show a whole lot of rust on Thursday, but he did his opening 9 on Friday. He was all over the place.
Sure was. Didn't look like he was struggling with his putter, but also didn't make anything. Hit a lot of good putts that just slid past the edge.
Dylan Meyer, great story here. Dylan was a Monday qualifier, got in through a playoff. He was a superstar at Illinois. That's how you do it. And so to make the cut on the number, not only good experience, but get a few dollars in his pocket. As a young professional, every dollar is important.
You're not kidding. As an old professional, every dollar is important.
Is it more important as the old professional or the young professional?
Old. I'm like, oh, I forgot I had that. Some bonus. Oh, did it there. Rory.